Hello and welcome to this second tutorial video on how to make a coat with hood for your ragdoll. Let's start with the pockets. We've got two of the main fabric and two of the lining, and we're going to take a main fabric and a lining and put them right sides together, and then we're just going to pin around this curve. So as usual, taking some of the main positioning points, the bottom corner, and then we'll go up to the top. You're not going to see a great deal of this lining, but it's these little extra bits that really add to the finished piece. Down to the middle, like that. And we're going to sew just around this curve, just the curve, all the way down there, right the way down. And that's all, and repeat it for the other pocket. Once we've done that, this is turned right side out now, and we're going to add a row of top stitch. So it's a little decorative stitch that goes all the way around the edge, about 1 centimetre in. We're going to do a row stitching that goes through both layers and just holds them tight together. So this is one I did earlier, I've always wanted to say that, with its row of top stitching, and that just makes a nice neat edge, nice neat flat edge to our pocket. And once that's done, we can add the pocket to the front of our coat. So we've got right sides out on both of these, and I've got to position this. Now on our pattern piece we have positioning marks, but of course we draw that out on the wrong side of the fabric, so at the moment our positioning dots are on the back. We could draw them on the right side, but I'm just going to use a pin to go through those positioning dots, like that. And then turn it back to the right side facing up. There are my pins, and of course my positioning dots here are on the inside. I'm going to mark them on the outside. Nobody's ever going to see the inside of this pocket. So if I take my pattern piece and use this edge, because this hasn't been hemmed or sewn or anything, so that's the original true edge, and I'm going to use these dots. I'm going to draw all the way through. I've made a little hole there, and I can mark those onto the right side of the fabric. Just make them a little darker so that hopefully you can just see them. And then use those positioning dots to line up with these pins. So just push the pins through the dots, and we know that then is lining up those dots. So that should sit in about the right position. We're going to leave this curve here open. That's our pocket, and the little straight line below it is going to be in the seam, so we don't need to do anything with that, but we need to hem the rest of it. So I'm just going to put a couple of pins to hold it into position, so I can lose these pins that are sticking up at me, because I will get myself with those. And then I can take those out. I'll start at the bottom and just hem that bottom bit up there, and then I can line that up with the bottom of the coat. That gives me a nice easy straight edge to match up with. Don't skimp on this hem when you go along there, because you've got to hem this bottom bit yet, and you need to give yourself enough space there to do that. So if it's looking as though you might not have enough room to turn over, might be to do with your fabric, might just be how you've cut your pattern out. If you feel you need to turn it over a little bit more, do it. Just do what you need to do. We're using recycled fabrics. All of our fabrics might act a little differently. Don't be too precious with following this pattern. Right, so I've done the bottom there. Now I'm going to do up this straight edge. So again, along this straight edge you're going to have a yoke sewn in. So on this straight edge there's going to be a hem, so again you need to leave yourself enough of a gap. We're also going to do the same kind of top stitch along there, so you want at least 1 centimetre in between the edge of your pocket and the hemmed edge of your coat, so 1.5 centimetres minimum. And it won't matter if you make your pocket a little smaller, your doll's not going to complain. Take it from me, they're very accommodating. Up to the top. And then along the top edge. We've left this one to last because we don't have a straight edge to line up with. Having those other edges done gives us a good solid grounding for this line. I'm going to put another one in here, but I think I'm going to take out that corner one in a moment just to re-pin it, because where we've folded it over, if it sticks out, and it is, you can see it's just sticking out a bit there, we want to tidy that up. We want to make sure that edge is tucked right in there, make it look neat. Put the pin right the way through. If you want to tack this into position before you sew it, you can do. It might just make it a little easier. It's a bit scrumpled up, but it'll be fine. And we're going to sew it all the way along the top, down the side and along the bottom. As I say, that short edge is going to be in the seam. Right, back and 2 fronts now, and we're going to sew them together at the shoulders. These are all right sides facing you at the moment, and they're going to go together kind of like that. So let's put our right sides together at the shoulder so that our arm holes there line up. Always double check that. You only ever manage to sew an armhole and a neck curve together once. You get a very odd shape. Let's do the same with the other one. Make sure the arms are matching up. Pin those together at the shoulder. There we go, and sew across there and across there. We're going to hem the sleeve now. Now this is a little bit back to front, because if you were making an adult sized or even a child sized item of clothing, you wouldn't hem at this point. You would sew the sides of the sleeves first and then you turn the hem over, and that would hide your side seams. I just find it really fiddly working this size, especially if you're going to try and do it on the machine. So go with what feels most comfortable to you. I'm going to show you to do it this way because it's easier, purely and simply because it's easier. If you're more competent with the machine and more comfortable, then a little bit of a purist, then do it the other way. And so the last little pin on there, I just find it so much easier to sew this on the flat. There we go. We'll never make it onto a catwalk, will we? But we'll make it onto a doll. So all the way along there, and repeat that with the other sleeve. That concludes our tutorial video. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, please subscribe. We'd love your feedback and a like. There are more videos coming soon.